You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hey, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We're back.
Hi.
Another episode of Bizarre Buffet.
That's right. This is number, 45?
I think 45.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow. So sensual, that
and
number.
to think that we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
I
Yeah.
know, we did. You know, we've been promising you. There's been a teaser out for a while now. So a lot of you have been very interested about seeing this, or hearing this episode, rather, about A Second Life. Now, we have our special guest with us, Ashley, who flew all the way in
From the next town over.
from the next town over on her jet. Ashley, tell us a little about, for our eager listeners, what is Second Life?
All right. Well, Second Life is a virtual world online. I refer to it as a game. Some people refer to it as a social network.
Okay. Now, my understanding of it is definitely both, I think, where there is a lot of people who use it for gameplay, but then it is a whole other universe. Now, I'm always interested in the aspects of what make this game like truly a Second Life. So I know for you it's more about gameplay. Is that correct?
Very much, yes. It's
Right.
a game to me.
That's like, yeah, like you have fun.
And you have like your own avatar, right?
Yes.
The avatars are pretty much a resemblance of themselves. For some people, maybe what they really want to be. Many different options there. For some people, or people who live out fantasies in terms of their professions, right?
Right.
So what are some of the professions that people have in their second lives?
Well, there's a bunch of different ones. However, there's definitely a lot of content creators. So that can be clothing for your avatar, houses, furniture. Those are the more like normal things, I would say. But what's interesting is they're actually brands. It's not just, here's a chair and you can download it. Like, you know the company, you know they have an actual brand.
Yeah. So like in regular or RL, real life.
Like, is it a more interactive live version of The Sims?
Yes. You don't have needs or anything. You can download something that would give you needs to play like The Sims. To me, it's the closest to Grand Theft Auto Online,
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
but much better looking and more detailed.
Yeah, it is very detailed, and Ashley has a blog, which we'll tell you more about later. But
You can chat live with people, correct?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Anyone that you're around who else is online at the same time as you, that's kind of the social network part of it, where you can chat. You have groups. If you join like a stores group or a role play group or whatever, you can talk to people all day.
So basically, Second Life is a huge online universe where you can really create who you want to be.
Yes.
It kind of sounds
it's very
like
intriguing.
It sounds
and-
like World of Warcraft and The Sims and Grand Theft Auto
yeah.
Yeah.
all have a baby.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
Second Life.
Yes.
Yeah. What I love about that, in many different like art forms, you know, people create personalities for themselves or
Right.
personas.
Yeah.
You know, there's countless people who have done that. And I think, you know, for this game, it seems like people really get the opportunity to pursue that and elaborate. And, you know, it's a form of escapism.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
certainly. But I'm always fascinated, of course, because, you know, I'm the trash peddler of the group. As Ashley knows, we've all known each other for a very long time.
We sure have.
Longer than we'd like to admit because it implies our age. But now, I know, Ashley, you've seen many aspects of it. Now, when we talk about the game, or Second Life, rather, I'm always interested in, tell me about the strip clubs. Tell me about all the crazy, you know, gimps and the fun and the fetish people and all this. Now, Ashley is more pure. She's not of God, but she is purer than I think my intentions would be. Like, I would just want to do the worst things ever. I'd be like,
You would.
where
you
can I
would.
sell myself? I'm sex positive worker.
Can
all
you
of that.
kill people on Second Life?
That's a whole subreddit, isn't it? Like a thing?
Not like their actual avatar, but within roleplay communities you can. Like the character of Mark no longer exists, he was killed. But like your avatar is still there. Like you just wouldn't be a part of it anymore, or you'd make a new character, I think.
So you can't like technically murder.
No.
And I feel like that was like a CSI. Wasn't there like a CSI episode where they
SVU.
SVU? Now, what did they do on SVU? They made it where that was something that you could do. You could be a murderer on, or what was the premise?
I don't think it was that. The episode was that this girl was kidnapped and they found out that she was a teenage hooker in another universe, essentially Second Life, and she was kidnapped by this guy who was one of her fans in the game.
Oh my gosh.
So can you tell us a little bit about like different types of relationships that people actually have made on Second Life, or different types of like weird stories of people meeting up in real life through Second Life?
Or just
Yes.
weird things that you might encounter on
Exactly.
Second Life?
There's a
Sure.
lot.
So
I know.
something that
This is a rabbit hole.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It truly
Rabbit
is.
hole.
Buckle up, everybody.
The weirdest one to me would be people that have a partner in real life but still get married in Second Life. No judgment. I just personally would not be comfortable like getting involved sexually, on text, or some people do cam with
Yeah.
someone when I have a partner. That would be to me akin to like dirty texting, which I would be super pissed if Tom did, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that either.
Right. Yeah.
And for all of you listening, we're going to get Tom, Ashley's partner, in here
Because
soon.
we want Tom to be a
we
commentator.
we would like his perspective on it, and we want to bring you all many aspects to this.
You were discussing about people getting married in Second Life.
Yes.
And they can actually have sexual relations with each other.
Yes.
Can you see their
Yeah.
like private parts?
Yes.
They have
Oh
like
my
what?
God.
Oh my god! See, there's so for everyone
So-
listening, there are so many aspects of this. So
Now-
if it's all over the place, just bear with
We're
us
just
because
excited.
we're excited.
Can you tell us a little bit about people who maybe have met in real life on Second Life, but their avatar wasn't who they really were?
I don't personally know any of that. The only ones that I've seen have been in like documentaries of people who
So
met.
tell us.
Yeah, the documentary that was on
Yeah.
Netflix.
It's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Based on that, there were people who met. I think there are definitely people who use Second Life as a dating app. They'll try to find like a real life partner based on it. I know people have gotten married from it.
Wow,
Like in real
real
first
life.
life, in real
Yeah.
life. Okay, wow.
that's very interesting. We had watched the documentary with Ashley and Tom. It was very interesting for many reasons, but I think part of what was fascinating was the couple that had met. They were both married at the time, so they had this
my
second.
God.
Yeah, it's a complex world. They were both married at the time. And I think briefly in the documentary they follow the, I guess, beginnings of this relationship.
Wow,
And not
okay.
for nothing, but the guy seemed like a little bit of a fucking dick, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
He seems to be like a control freak.
Yeah, he like got very kind of
Snippy.
Yeah, snippy, and I don't know. I use tons of profanity, but in the context of which he was doing it, he sounded like a fucking dickhead. I mean, there's just so many things that you could explore with this. You know, even into the I wouldn't call it true crime realm, but in essence of there are people who have kids that have gone starving from
Yes.
people playing this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Tell us about like the investment.
Tell us about the starving children.
Yeah, so there was apparently a couple who were running a strip club in Second Life, which required a lot of their attention to the point that they let their real life child or children starve.
Wow.
I don't think they died. I think they were rescued, but to the point that they were so absorbed in Second Life, they completely neglected real
Now,
life.
Isn't it too like people invest hundreds and thousands of dollars into this game as well?
Yes, they do.
And there are people though who make hundreds and thousands
Yes.
off of it
It's some
as
people's
well.
full-time job.
Yeah. Because when Ashley was saying earlier about people who design essentially how we're sitting at this table, there will be somebody who designs this table
Yeah.
that you can purchase. And there are people who are, I guess, have stores,
Well,
right?
like video
that
game
are-
designers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially just a different,
Yeah, depending on the level of how much you're designing, like, but a lot of creators put out something every week or several times a week. Like, if you have a big store like that, I'm sure you're making like a full-time income.
yeah.
Now,
And
what about the people who spend a lot of money?
so the people who spend, I guess, a lot of money on the game, do you think it's every tax bracket of people? Like, do you think it's a type of thing where it becomes something where it's addictive?
Well, so everything in Second Life costs actual money. Nothing is, well, there's free items, but for essentially nothing is
To
free.
really
It's-
play, you gotta...
So, like,
Yeah.
to like actually buy furniture, you have to pay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like real money.
Shit, like
It's-
how much? Like what
So
is the price range?
So
Good
the
question.
conversion rate for one linden, 240 lindens, is about $1 United States dollars.
Wow.
And so, just like off the top of your head, as best as you can, what can 240 lindens get you in Second Life?
Not much. Pretty much everything is 250.
Okay, interesting. So, you got it off the bat. You need at least
Like
$2,
$2,
two
yeah.
real dollars.
Yeah.
It's like the penny slots in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you definitely need to invest like at least some money into it.
Okay.
So there's some people who don't, they get by on just freebies. That's fine. They choose to do that. If you want to get super customized, you have to be willing to put money in.
You know, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
any other game. Once again, not unconventional in a negative sense, but it only seems more unconventional because of the realm that it's in. There are plenty of games where on PlayStation or Xbox, you have to buy, an upgrade pack
Yeah, or
or
phone games
this,
or-
and that's
Right.
40, 50 bucks a pops, whereas 40 or 50 on that game can probably get you a lot of shit on Second Life.
It's very polarizing. Like, there's definitely people in Second Life who refuse to put any money into it. If they spend like $15, they're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
never again. Like,
Never,
that's
yeah.
like ridiculous to them, but
But I mean,
people feel differently.
it gets into, it's all perspective in my opinion, right? It gets into the subject of what do you pay for entertainment as a human
Exactly.
being in real life outside of this game? What do you pay to go
Right.
to a bar one night, to go to a
Yeah.
dinner?
There's people who don't do that either.
Yeah.
They think that like going to the movies is stupid or
Oh God!
whatever.
Well, listen. Get
One
a
thing I
life.
find so interesting is the amount of options that you have on items or things that you can purchase on Second Life, and also the level of detail. I mean,
Yes.
you can buy skins,
Ashley's
like literally
character,
skin.
which is her. I mean, you can tell like all of the things, all of the components are part of her.
So
It's very personal.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your character and like what does your character do and what is
Yeah.
like what is your Second Life?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I like to explore. So there's a lot of people who just make like different, they're called Sims, like worlds that you can go to and look around. Like someone will make like Paris or London or, you know.
Oh yeah, you showed me Amsterdam before.
Yes, I showed you the Amsterdam one. Like people make like
Okay.
cities or towns. I really like to go to those. There's like safari ones. I like to look at that.
But what do you do when you get to these places?
Just
I
look
personally
around.
just walk around. I'm not big into interacting with people. I'm very like shy with that. I just don't.
And I can relate to that because when Mark and I would play like Grand Theft Auto,
Oh yeah, I don't
would
do that either.
I would just play it to drive around and
Yeah.
like see the
Oh, that's
escapes
so much fun.
and then
That's the
run
best
people
part.
over.
I'll do missions, but like people are always like, "Oh, do you have a mic?" Like, no, I'm not talking to
It
you.
feels very, I don't know. It feels a little too personal because it's supposed to be kind of disconnected,
Yeah.
but like,
Right.
you know.
I think it's the level that you want it to be. So some people are very into making connections with other people, getting involved in the sexual aspect, which I'll go more into.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just exploring. I just enjoy that. I like seeing what people made.
Yeah.
And then I
Right.
take a lot of photos from my blog. So a lot of times it's like modeling the clothes or, whatever little handheld doodad I have.
Yeah,
It's
I like
very
to-
curated.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
And you
I-
play no games.
No, I mean, to me, just in my opinion, it's like, no different than an artist who works in a certain form. Some people just do this. Like for you, it's more just about the experience for you. It's not so much any
Yeah.
of the interacting or anything
Right.
else.
I
Like,
enjoy just taking photos. I like editing photos. I've always done that over the years with regular things, not just video games. So for me, it's definitely that. It's a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And I like to decorate my house. I find that really therapeutic.
Is there an initial fee to sign up?
No, it's completely free, and then you can put in however much money you want or don't want.
Okay.
But you want to like really look a certain way, the way that you want, and you gotta put
Like
money
I'll
in.
put it this way, and I don't know what this says about me, and I'm sure there's probably some Freud expert who could elaborate on this. But I told Ashley, I'm like, I want to be plastic surgery mishap.
A lot of people are.
I'm sure, but I'm like, but to them, for me, I'm just like intrigued by that. I don't know, in real life, would I get to a point where I would just do tons of fucked up surgeries and make myself look as fucking just distracting as possible?
I
Yes.
hope not.
Do you use your real name?
No,
You don't use your real name.
Not in our bed.
I don't use my real name though, even on like Instagram or anything.
Like for me, that would be fun to me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it would be
'Cause you can
it's
do it.
appealing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's something that's just very fascinating about that. What I would like to do at this point in time, we have an
Is-
individual. He flew all the way in once again
From Brooklyn, New York.
from Brooklyn, New York.
to
Via London.
via London. So we have Tom, Ashley's life partner in their first life. Tom, what I'm curious to know is, as somebody who has observed Ashley play Second Life, what is your experience of watching Ashley play Second Life?
So when Ashley and I first started dating, Ashley would always show me her Sims. So,
Yeah, of course she
The
would.
Sims.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that. We know you love The Sims.
20 years,
Friday
girl.
night Sims and Tingas.
I used to make the boy Sims kiss.
You can.
And I did.
I love Sims.
So yeah, the Second Life kind of feels like a logical progression from Sims.
Now, you don't play, correct?
I don't play those games, no. I
Okay.
do play a lot of computer games. I'm a software developer by trade, so it's definitely of interest to me. One of the cool things about Second Life, as well as building objects like tables, they actually have a programming language which lets you write mini computer programs that define how the Sims interact with the characters or the objects.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. I've looked at it. It's a pretty regular scripting language. It's proprietary to the game, so it's kind of like what as JavaScript is to a web page. This is that scripting language to the models in Second Life.
I don't know what Java is.
It's
Java the Hutt.
No, it's like Adobe or something, right? Another question that we had, and I know Mark, you were really eager to talk about this, was the
Yes.
subreddits.
Yeah, so okay, so for me, the way that I see this is it's probably just as large of a universe and world as, say, Reddit
I would
is.
agree, yeah.
So, on Reddit, you have like subreddits, you have Reddit groups. Like, I belong to Reddit because I subscribe to a few pages where it's fucked up pictures or postmodern mansions. So it's very curated. But then on Reddit, there's that dark side too.
There's some really dark shit on Reddit.
Like people that like eyeballs and all sorts of, I mean, I don't look at that, but well, maybe I do, but I wonder, like, so with Second Life, are there like subcultures that exist in it that you know about that would be kind of perfect for the Bizarre Buffet universe?
Yes. So the biggest one would be sex in Second Life. There is an enormous population of people who play Second Life just for the sexual activities. That's probably 75% of the user base, honestly. It's not something that interests me for the reasons I said. Like, I would not feel comfortable. It's a real person on the other side of there, so I'm not comfortable
Right.
with that. I was single. I probably still wouldn't be. There's a lot of things that I just like, it's not my personal taste, but that's what people want to do and that's what they enjoy doing and putting their money into. There's a ton of strip clubs, there's a ton of sex clubs, there seems to be disproportionately large numbers of people into like BDSM for some reason. That's very popular in Second Life. The other thing is the strip clubs, interestingly, are extremely involved. A lot of them have cam, like the person behind the avatar on webcam, and those remote control vibrators.
Oh
so
my
like if you tip
God.
them, you can actually use the vibrator with
Oh.
them.
I mean, I think that's very interactive, and I'm for it. I mean, I would just prefer the real deal, but
A lot of people are very into that. That's a huge part of the user base that I find very interesting.
What's
But-
interesting for me is it's kind of like how the internet was back in the late 90s.
Like with AOL.
AOL and
AIM,
CUCD and
Chat
all
rooms.
this
The
stuff.
chat. Oh my God, those chat rooms.
It's
ASL.
essentially a chat room, except that you
Oh,
have
yes,
an avatar.
ASL.
You have an avatar with parts.
That
So-
meant something. It's something different back then. Now it's an American Sign Language.
Yeah, so it is what we grew up knowing as cyber sex, but again, people have like their avatars that have like real penis and like vagina that moves and all different kinds of stuff, which is why I think some people are so addicted to it. The cam thing is a whole other, that's like a real business in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, with your status in Second Life, I know you're kind of becoming very popular.
My blog.
You have a blog. What have you done so far that has gotten you this popularity with your blog?
I would hope it's just they like my photo editing. I do enjoy, like I say, drawing or editing pictures. I've always enjoyed that. So this kind of just gave me another outlet to do that with. Different brands will say, looking for bloggers. You can apply between like September 4th and 8th, and you can apply. You don't get accepted to every single brand. They definitely have like a look that they look for. Like some are very like gothy, some are very sporty, like, you know, different themes, brands. But I currently have 4 sponsors.
Wow.
Damn.
That's awesome.
So, what do you have like a personal end goal? Is this something where eventually you want to be self-employed through this, or do you just want to continue your hobby?
For me, it's very much a hobby. I kind of got started with it when my cat passed away recently, and I just needed like a really absorbing
Right.
outlet. I had played Sims for years, I still do, but what drew me to Second Life was it looked like Sims, but on super HD graphics, and I'm very much like a graphics whore. So I was like, oh, I want to play this, and it's so
Yeah.
customizable.
That's awesome.
They actually decided to take The Sims the game in the opposite direction, right? They made it more
They made
basic.
it more cartoony, which annoys me. So
I miss the original Sims. I used to put my Sims in like the pool, and then I would pause the game and take the ladder out.
Yes,
and
the
drown them
classic.
all.
Or the room with the fireworks.
Or yeah, you would like
Yeah.
put them in the room, and then you'd pause the game, and you would take the door out, and then you would like put
like
like
starve.
you,
Sociopaths playing these games.
That's look, everybody did it, even if they don't admit to
come
it.
on. Yeah, I used to do it as a kid. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Didn't like the Slender Man girl? Didn't she do that to her Sims? And weren't people saying
I don't
that's like
remember
a warning sign?
I mean, is there anything wrong with killing Sims and stuff? Like, okay, like, obviously, like, you don't want, like, someone to, like, kill a squirrel and, you know, all those things. But if you're getting your aggression out via virtual reality, is that bad? I mean, is it really hurting anyone? Or
Right.
how do we feel about that? Hot topic.
Okay, to answer your question, Mark, I
Yes.
think on the face of it, no, it's pretty harmless. If it's part of a larger pattern of behavior, then maybe it could be a warning sign.
Right. It's for me, because I like to run people over.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Okay, got quiet in here.
I do too, don't worry. I think though, you know, again, with the documentary, there was someone who was kind of killing people, and I think it came out, well, you can't kill anybody in Second Life, so it's not really killing people, it's just teleporting them home. Essentially, it came out that he had been molested, I think, so I guess it comes from somewhere.
A lot of times things like that come from somewhere dark.
It's traumatic.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, that can give you a way to get there, though, to kind of figure out those aspects of yourself that you haven't reconciled.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very deep.
That's really, really deep.
I just like to dress up.
Well, that's like the cool thing. It's
Yeah, I think those like role playing games are fun for that. For dressing up, for being able to like design your own home,
I
for
love
being
decorating my
able to
house.
like go places and travel. Like the interaction thing sounds a little weird to me.
It's not my personal thing.
I know.
But I'm like that, and I don't play online games. Even GTA Online was the only one I ever played, and even in that, I'm like, I don't want to play with anybody.
Yeah, the headphones thing is just weird. I've heard of stories of like people like, you know, playing like GTA or like Call of Duty together, and they've never met in person, and they all get together for a weekend.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Second Life as well, though. That's the
I think some people do meet up from Second Life. I don't know any stories personally.
I know somebody who's a gamer every fucking year. has all of these friends that he's made come to his house from all over the country.
I knew people that did something similar back in London.
This is very hard to trust people these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be made into a lampshade. You know?
And then sold for 300 lindens.
Exactly.
There you
Which
go.
is like, what, $3?
It's like maybe $1.50.
Not even 3.
In a way, you can say it's like making friends any other way, or like in a chat room back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I met Ashley from MySpace, so.
Yeah, I did.
Yep. And then I met Mark
Be-
because of
by
Ashley.
way of MySpace, and then I met Mark from.
I met Mark on MySpace
You did. I
Yeah.
remember this.
I didn't meet Tom on MySpace.
so long ago.
And like I
Definitely did meet in MySpace. Sure.
like I guess it's the same concept, really, but you have an
Yeah.
avatar.
Yeah.
Second Life.
Second Life. That was definitely really interesting.
I think the intriguing thing is just that with Second Life, it is another universe.
It is.
And there's a lot to explore. With exploration comes a lot of positive things and then a lot of things that are a little more unusual and off the beaten path.
Yeah.
I think different opportunities to make money.
Yeah, I think that part's great. Like if you have a
Right.
successful, creating business, you can really do well for
Well,
yourself.
like how we were just saying in our last episode with Kevorkian, like we could do our own like sub podcast
Yeah.
on Kevorkian. You could absolutely do your own podcast on Second Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use it too in the sexual sense. Like, there's definitely some people that, for whatever reason, they can't act out their true feelings, so they go into Second Life. Like, there's a lot of men who have women avatars, so
Oh.
a lot.
That sounds like that movie Ready Player One. Did anyone see that? The Spielberg
I
film?
didn't. I've heard that connection made a lot.
I read the book.
You read the book?
Yeah.
Everybody in Ready Player One, their avatar is not who they are at all.
Interesting.
Right? Isn't like the one avatar another dude that's really a girl and they wind up falling in love?
I think they fall in love, but there's definitely like his best friend
Something, yeah.
is actually a girl in real life. Maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
There's a lot of that. People, they want to live out other fantasies. Like some people, they play as a mermaid or a fairy or like I don't know, like a dog. You can pretty much play as anything.
I think if I had one, I would make the avatar look like me, but only hotter.
Yeah, that's what I went for.
And I would probably want.
Everybody does.
I would probably want like
think so.
gremlin ears.
You can get those. I have elf ears. I don't wear them
How many
regularly.
how many lindens are they?
They came with a head, which
Oh.
was, I don't even remember how much it was.
I want to look like Gizmo from Gremlins. Yeah, Mark wants to look like the kitty cat plastic
be a
surgery
kitty.
lady.
Oh, you could be a plastic surgery person too.
What's her name? Kat Wildenstein?
Pat Wildenstein, something like that.
Oscar Wilde said something like, "Give a man a mask and he will show you his true face."
Oh, there's the opening line.
There you go. Some things always remain the same, and I
Exactly.
think that's a very good quote to
End on.
this on. But
Thank you so much for coming on.
thank you,
Thank you
Ashley.
for
And thanks, Tom,
And-
too.
Yes, and thank you to
Pleasure as always.
Tom. So, Ashley, for all of our listeners who may or may not have a second life or who may want one or be fascinated, tell us all about your blog, where people can find you and follow you.
Yes, if you want to follow me on Flickr, I'm under Lily Victoire.
And how do you spell that?
LILIVICTOIRE.
And you heard it here. And trust me, it is most definitely worth checking out. And the documentary that we referenced
It's on Netflix.
is on Netflix. I believe, what is it? Second Life 2.0?
Life 2.0.
Life 2.0
Yeah, it
on
is-
Netflix.
It is a little dated. Second Life looks way better.
Second
than
Life
that.
is much more advanced than the film itself, but it'll give you a great perspective for what
Yeah.
it is. So,
Make sure to follow us on
Yeah.
Bizarre Buffet on
Absolutely.
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we're everywhere. You can subscribe anywhere and everywhere. And yeah, patreon.com/bizarrebuffet.
Give us your money.
Give us your money, okay?
Give us your lindens.
Give us your lindens. And follow Ashley on Flickr. It's a world you want to be a part of. Until next time, my name is Susan Sarandon.
And I'm Gizmo from Gremlins.
And I'm a Linden. Goodbye.
Bye.